What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yes, indeed. Giving y'all my reaction of the interview that Antonio Tarver and Zab Judah had with Sway on Sway's Universe, and they're expressing how they believe Crawford is going to win. Y'all check it out.
Get straight to it, man. Let's get straight to it. The big event is taking place this Saturday. Man, the audience, the boxing world is very divided on this one. You know, Steve Espinoza said you could kind of see the divide when it comes to race, right? You know, the majority of black fans are voting for Crawford, or they're rooting for Crawford. The majority of Mexican fans are rooting for, Canelo. I want to know from you guys, based on your expertise, how do you see this fight playing out? Zab, I want to start with you.
For myself, I think it's going to be a very excellent fight. It's going to be a very intriguing fight from the beginning. But I think that once the fight start, and my prediction, if Bud comes in the ring, because that's my prediction of who I think is going to win Bud.
Okay.
So I think if he comes in, starts fast, starts letting, Bud go, you know what I'm saying, start out with right-handed and switch up to the left-handed style, busting Canelo up, making him miss, hitting him with great counter punches and counter shots. By the 11th round, he'll be softened up, and we can sit him down.
Sit him down.
Sit him down.
Hold up, man. We have never seen
this.
Anybody sit down Canelo Alvarez.
So let's say Terrence Bud Crawford has been doing things that we've never seen done in boxing before. He's been doing it.
What is it that he's done? And by the way, I'm a Crawford guy.
He was the first man to become undisputed.
All right.
2 different times. I mean, the way he's moving up and down the scale of the weight classes and dominating these fighters. Well, nobody thought he was going to dismantle Earl Spence like that.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that.
Well, hold up. One person did.
I mean, yeah. I mean, okay, even though Thomas said that.
Hey, I got to add in there. I don't care. It is what it is. Yeah, Tarver, you beat Roy Jones Jr., but you also beat him when he was at the ending of his career. Okay? He wasn't all the way at the end of his career, but he was definitely out of his prime. Make sure you add that in there when you stress that. All right?
But we didn't think he was going to do it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We knew he was going to beat him. We didn't think he was going to do it like that.
Like he was going to dominate him like that.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Earl Spence is one of my favorite fighters. You know what I'm saying? He still is having a tough time coming back around. You know what I mean? So when fighters are doing things like that, that's the level of greatness that I'm saying that we're going to see tomorrow night.
Okay, and what about you, Antonio Tarver, who is very, I was telling Antonio that how much I enjoy his commentary and his expertise when I watch him cover fights, even if he's covered it from home live from his IG. You know, I love what he has to say. You do not hold back. How do you see this fight playing out?
Well, I must say, I'm Bud County all the way.
Bud
you know
County,
what I'm saying?
right?
I've been following this guy for a long, long time, man. Southpaw, switch hitter, and he's a two-fisted monster.
Yeah.
You know, he used those hands better than anybody. And but he is fighting Canelo Alvarez.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think moving up 2 weights is going to be challenging. Mm-hmm. But if anybody can do it successfully, it's a guy named Bud Crawford.
How is he going to do it? Zab said if he softens him up by the 11th round, he could sit him down.
Well, when you look at Canelo last few fights, he hasn't been really active. He hasn't been throwing combination punches. It's been like one punch at a time, one here, one there. And I think he's going to have to get back to his boxing combination style. I think if we see the Canelo, and I call him Saul show up, the one guy that defeated Plant, that was the active Canelo that I believe will give anybody problems. But the Canelo we've been seeing recently, it just seemed like, he don't have that hunger or intensity that he used to have when he was a young kid coming up. And I think when you look at it, being hungry in boxing is important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they're fighting for 2 different reasons tomorrow night.
And I'll give you the rebuttal. So you got a guy in Canelo who's been in there 3 times with Triple G,
right?
One of the best punchers of his generation. Been in there with B-Roll, another guy with power. He took it all. Why is Bud different? You're saying Bud is going to do something. Canelo and B-Roll were unable to do.
Skill, different type of skill level, different type of skill level. I'm telling you, watch. We're gonna see it tomorrow night. It's different skill level when it comes to this. The hand craftsmanship is different. Watch.
And I can say when you look at those fighters that you mentioned, GGG and Bivol, they're great fighters, but I don't think you can classify them as sharp punchers.
Right.
Sharp punching is a different type of punch. It feels different. You understand? It has leverage, and you're hitting the mark. You're hitting this guy where it hurts. Right. That's the difference, and I call that GPS. A lot of guys don't have GPS on their punches. They don't know where they're going.
They just swinging. They just swinging.
Like that GPS.
They ain't got no real landing mark.
They turned their location off, right? All right. Horace, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm going T Bud, but I want to know who wins this fight, the boxer or the brawler in this fight?
Well, boxer always going to win. It's always going to beat the brawler because the brawler is not in control. You know what I mean? He just swinging punches. The boxer is always under control. He understands what's taking place right in front of him.
So y'all both believe that Bud going to finish by knockout. If it go to a decision, what do you think about that? That's what I'm thinking about. The only way Bud could win, for me, is by knockout.
Wow. Well, I mentioned that when you look at Canelo close fights and it's controversial fights, you know, he's a favorite fighter, bro. And it's Mexican Independence Day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And weekend. I don't know if that matters at all, but yeah, he's an undisputed champion. So it's that old added statement that you got to take the title from the champion. Yeah. I think it looms this weekend because he's Canelo Alvarez.
Wow, man.
Now what about this way? I also got something else in mind. I'm also leaning towards, because of it's such a big Independence Day and Canelo has been such successful and it's like his
this weekend.
What about a draw?
Oh yeah,
a draw.
Everybody seen that draw coming?
You see that? Yeah.
Don't kill me, man.
No. I told these guys yesterday. I think it's going to be a close fight. I don't think it's going to be a lot of action. I don't, because I just think they're both very technical fighters. You're right. Canelo hasn't been that active. It's tough to counter punch off a guy who isn't that active. So Bud's going to have to step on the gas and be aggressive. Will he or will he? I think it's going to be really. I think there's going to be a lot of arguments after this fight.
Well, how do you believe? Because Espinoza is leaning Canelo Alvarez, and it's interesting that all the three black guys pick Crawford and the one Mexican.
I'm saying, yeah. I mean,
like a California.
I'm not saying, well, yeah. I thought Antonio was Dominican. Antonio. I mean, Antonio.
They do. They do. But how does Canelo win?
Look, I think it's skill. I think it's pace. And I think it's being more comfortable in the ring. I mean, it worries me a little bit. I mean, you guys, I have not been in the ring. You guys have. But it worries me a little bit when I look at Bud and how jacked he is. You know, how muscular he is. I mean, you know, there's a long history in boxing. There's like a prejudice against being muscular. And he's put on a lot of muscle.
No, I think that you guys are looking at Bud and say, because he came into this fight bigger than Canelo. Everybody thought Canelo was going to be such monstrous over him and supersized. And when he came here and he looked bigger than Canelo, they're like, wait a minute. But I watched him shadow box. I watched his pivots. I watched his moves. See, all of that means something. Me and Tarver were just talking about this. Them little sharp pivots and them sharp moves, when you carrying that weight and you're not carrying it right and it's not well saturated in your body, it's not going to turn the same. But when it's good and it's sitting right with you, you could. You know what I'm saying? That's what I seen Bud Crawford doing.
I like that you mentioned saturation because I was thinking to myself, and I want to know this from both you, Zab, and Tarver. When it comes to learning a new skill, right, to bring into the ring, for both of y'all, how long did it take for it actually to be almost like buried in your muscle?
Lifetime.
But outside of a lifetime, say when you're preparing specifically for a fight.
So you're saying the game plan itself, if you have to make adjustments, how long does it take for you to really get acclimated to what you're doing?
or something specific that you have not used in another fight?
When you know the game, you can always insert some things. You know what I mean? You don't want to change your whole style.
Right.
You want to stay within your realm of what you do. But, yeah, we can always do that because we have the insights of boxing. So you can bring something new to us and we can incorporate it in our game. Yeah, I mean, it takes a smart fighter to do that without having to change his whole style. But the elites can do that.
Right,
the elites can do that.
And I would say, like, if you put in something new, a new repertoire into your game plan during training, it'll probably kick in around the 8th week of training, like when you'll have it like sharp, 8th, 9th, 10th week of training, it'll kick in really good. You know what I mean? If you consistently work on it.
Of course.
Because if you know anything you add in new, if there's no consistency, it's not gonna work.
All over the earth, God is raising up a new breed of wealth builders who will use their money to shape the course of world history.
Is there anything outside of, your physical training that has really upped your game mentally that you feel like took it to the next level for the both of y'all? Whether that's a book or a film, or maybe it's studying an athlete in a completely different sport.
No, for me, it's the experience. Every time I step into the ring, I learn something new. It could be with an amateur, it could be with a solid professional, it could be with a guy I'm just working with, it could be with a pad man showing me something, a flip and a move, and I'm like, ooh, add that to the repertoire. So in this boxing game, no matter how high you go up, you're always constantly learning.
Yes.
Love it.
You agree with that, Antonio?
Of course, I echo that.
Yeah.
Sir. And, yeah, I mean, you got to just keep learning, bro.
Yeah.
And when you also mentioned the sparring, whatever game plan that you incorporate into this, okay, say we need to do this, we got to see it in sparring. If you're not doing it in sparring, you can't expect to see it in the fight.
Right.
So you got chances to get your reps in. You know what I mean? If a guy have a low hand and he getting hit with left hooks like Haney did.
Yeah.
Fight against
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. We need to see him blocking that in sparring. So when he goes back to the ring, okay, we're not worried about that left hook. So that makes the whole team comfortable. And when a fighter see that he's advancing, now he's on his bicycle. He's going fast now. He's excited that he see himself elevating. But we learn from everybody.
Yes.
Like Zab just said, the fighters that are on top. I'm sure Bud watched a lot of great fighters to build himself to where he's at today. You know what I mean?
How do you prepare? How do Canelo prepare for a guy like Bud? I see that he was sparring with Jerron Ennis, but Ennis never been in there with Bud, so it's like he's not fighting a guy that was in there with Bud. He was like, hey, he pulled these type of tricks and traps on me. How do a guy like Canelo? Because Bud is definitely fighting the bigger guys, far dealing with power and getting hit. So how does Canelo prepare for a guy like that?
To me, it just showed the sign of that he's a little bit desperate and a little bit worried about what Bud could possibly bring in. Because for you to go grab a guy like Boots, compared to Canelo, for you to go grab a guy like Boots, there's a little worry there, a little bit. Like you wait a minute. I heard.
What's the worry though, Boots?
I have a different opinion on that.
But why is that desperate? Because you feel like Boots. Why? What do you mean?
I feel like he wants to go find the youngest, baddest,
like it's a reach.
Strongest. Yeah, a reach. You reaching. Let me find the youngest, baddest Afro-American young kid out there that's coming up. Let me get all of those guys in my stable as well. You know what I'm saying? Here's a guy that was reaching for Crawford at one time, and the fight was supposed to be made, but it never happened. You know what I'm saying? So let me go grab him. That's not gonna help. It's not gonna help.
My opinion on that is, when I look at the fact that he went and got Bruce Ennis, and he went and got a guy from Orlando, Vasant Blas. This guy was an Olympian, tall guy, and he's a killer. You know what I mean? It shows me that Saul Canelo Alvarez has taken this fight deadly serious. Because you could have got anybody, but you invested and brought in a world champion. Bro, it costs a little bit more than just bringing in your regular fighter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's invested in this fight.
Okay.
And it wasn't about the money. So when you bring a guy like Bruce Ennis in, you serious. You trying to get a guy that can really replicate Crawford.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
I love how you guys have differences of opinion.
Yeah, I disagree. He got $150 million for the fight, so the money wasn't out. He could bring in whoever he want to bring in.
Hey, he right to some degree. As far as he can bring whoever he want to bring, as far as with 150 million, yeah. True that. But at the same token, I definitely agree on that specific question that Sway asked with Tarver. I definitely do, because I believe Canelo is not taking this lightly at all. He understands and knows that Bud is somebody he need to pay attention to and prepare for. Regardless of what he says, his actions is showing that he's taking it serious. His actions are showing that. His actions are showing that Bud ain't gonna be no easy win like he addresses, which I can't be mad at him for saying that, but his actions show different. And like I've said before, that I honestly believe if Bud can prevent from getting hit with them heavy, hard shots, he got a hell of a shot at winning. I can't say that he's 100% gonna win, because anytime you step in that ring, it's a possibility you can lose. All it takes is a good hit. Regardless if you win in the fight, all it takes is a good blow, and they can change up very quick, very fast. You know what I'm saying? I ain't acting like I was never no professional boxer, because I never was. But at the same token, I done had some brawls, and I done saw some brawls. So all it takes is one good hit to change up everything. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. But I do believe, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, because I'm a hometown man. I ain't going against the hometown. I do believe Bud Crawford from Omaha, Nebraska, you know what I'm saying, is going to do the job. I do believe. But I also admit, though, which I've already said and do admit, and ain't going to take it away, that if Canelo can withstand what Bud got to bring and also keep coming and hit Bud with some hard shots, it's a good chance that that's going to be a wrap for Bud. I don't think he can. Now, I don't think Bud is going to give Bud is going to give Canelo the opportunity to do that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But as far as, do I believe Canelo have tasted power like Bud before? Most definitely. But also with what both of them, what Judah and Tarver agreed with, which I feel as well, is and I like the Tarver's analogy to this. What do you call it? GPS punching. That means a lot. When you can hit somebody where you want to hit them, when you can hit somebody directly where you want to hit them, that means a lot. That's totally different than just, oh, I hit this guy, I'm hitting him in his body a little bit. You know what I'm saying? No, but if you want to hit him, if you want to hit somebody in their kidney, boom, and you actually hit them in their kidney, oh, that means something. Or if I want to hit this guy in his shoulder and this specific part of his cup, oh, and I can hit him directly in that part, oh, that means something. If I want to hit this guy in the liver, oh, and I can directly tap that liver, oh, that means something. That means something. That means a whole lot. But you gotta be able to withstand them blows if they connect. If they connect. I'm not saying they're gonna connect, and I'm hoping they don't connect. But he has to withstand those blows. And if he can show me that he can withstand, because I'm definitely gonna be watching the fight. If he can withstand a couple of power shots from Canelo, oh, I honestly believe, and this is in like the 4th, 5th round, you know what I'm saying, later in the middle, like close to the middle of the fight, okay, if he can, sustain after getting hit with some power blows, I honestly believe his shot goes way higher now, in my book. Not just me wanting him to win. His shot goes way higher just because of the skill that he has. It goes way higher. But he has to prove that point. He has to show that. Skill pays the bills, true enough. But if you can't handle what I got to offer, that knocks the skills out the way a little bit. If you can't handle what I got to offer and I connect, that kind of knock the skills out the way a little bit. You can be skilled all you want, but I know if I connect to your chin and it's going to put you to sleep and you ain't hurt me, that change up a whole lot of things, man. That change up a whole lot of things. And when you get hit and it hurt and it rattle your head and your thoughts, it's kind of difficult to come back from that, especially when you have somebody's at your neck at the same time. So people have their own views on how it's going to go. I know who I want to win, and I know what I expect, but I am definitely not taking away from what Canelo can bring to the table. I'm definitely not doing that. So y'all remember, skills pay the bills, but at the same token, can you handle what I got to offer you? I definitely believe if it comes down to boxing, just boxing, Bud beat Canelo 10 out of 10 times. But can Bud take what Canelo bringing to the table? Or what people say, bring it in that ring? Because I know Stone Cold and all them, you know what I'm saying? And I give all them they props, they can throw them hands hella good. But I don't think neither one of them are Canelo in any shape, form, or fashion. I will admit that. I don't believe either one of them are Canelo. Period. So, hey, like I say, I'm wishing Bud the best. I'm hoping he do his thing. You know what I'm saying? I really am. I'm going to be watching it. So, hey, y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm up out of here.